Okay, so you're going to turn to face me. And the first thing to know is that they are irrelevant.
Okay.
And you and I are in a bubble, and they are just here to observe me and how I perform, and they're not here to watch you perform, because you can't do anything wrong anyway. So I'm here to demonstrate, and you're very kindly offering to let me demonstrate with you. Okay, so Tamara, have you had any Alexander lessons before?
Never, no.
Do you know anything about it?
Only what I've seen on a quick Google search, so not really, no.
Okay. Do you know that I'm going to guide you with my hands?
Yeah, I think.
All right, so the introduction to what I'm going to do is really important. I'm going to guide you with my hands, move you, and you'll do some simple everyday movements like sitting and standing, maybe some walking, and we'll probably end up the session with some table work, with some lying down work. And basically you'll be guided by me with instruction, with verbal instruction, and guidance with my hands. And your role is to let me do exactly what I want to do in terms of movement. I might move an arm, I might move your head. As far as possible, don't take over. So I'll be saying to you things like, I'll move an arm and let me take the weight of an arm, and we'll see how that goes. All right, any questions?
No, I don't think so.
Anything that hurts? Any tension problems that might be interesting for an Alexander technique?
I have a lot of tension in my upper back. I think because I spend a lot of time at work, very kind of, having to be very ready. I work in a crisis team, so I'm like carry, I think, a lot of tension in my upper back. I don't have too much pain, but I get a lot of stiffness in my neck and in my back.
So crisis team, as in working with people with emotional crises?
Yeah.
And you're there to support them?
Yeah, we respond very quickly, and we do a lot of understanding what people's issues are, and I think we hold a lot of
That makes sense. Are you in supervision?
Yeah, we do have supervision with staff.
So you can offload something?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you still end up kind of carrying a lot of that tension for people, and we respond quite quickly. So.
Yeah. It's interesting, you've already talked about one of the principles of Alexander, which is the mind and the body connection. And so you know that when you're emotionally under the cosh and there's a crisis, you know that your body also participates. And so we'll be working with that principle of how your body is responding to the emotional demands of your work, and how you can actually manage that in a way that hopefully doesn't accumulate too much upper body tension. Because it's mainly around here, isn't it? Neck, shoulders. Yeah. Anything lower back, or is it mainly?
Not really, just mostly up here.
All right, good. So we're going to talk about that and how emotional regulation is going to be part of what we're learning. All right? As we're going through this, and it'll be helpful for me, because I'm working with you, but also helpful for the invisible audience. If you want to ask any questions at all, feel free anytime at all.
Great, thank you.
All right, so what we're going to do, you're going to start standing.
Okay.
And I think you can look out of the window, and we'll start with your feet a little wider apart, maybe more for now. Yeah. And we're going to do that thing of me moving you and you not helping me move you.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll do is simply, I'll move an arm, and when I let go, you're going to let it drop. Exactly. So I'm the lifter, and you're basically letting me lift, and it doesn't have any participation. That's exactly it. And I'll do the same with the head. Yeah. Okay, I'll move you here and don't help me, and then here and stop, and then now I'll move you here. So you can see that I'm moving you, and you're simply going along with where I'm moving you. But you're not anticipating. Now I'm going to lift up your head. Yeah, anything that feels wrong or funny or whatever, feel free to let me know. Yeah, that's it. So I would guess there's quite a few emotional emergencies kicking in, which probably activate oh my gosh, every now and again. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd imagine so, definitely. And I think you carry more home with you than you realise.
Yeah. And when you say carry it home with you, do you mean you feel you're carrying it emotionally or physically, or isn't there much of a difference?
I think there's a sense of both, but I think it's easier for me definitely to notice the emotional side than the physical side. I think that manifests slightly differently.
Yeah, so you feel you're carrying some of their distress. And it makes you distressed.
Yeah, probably. Or more susceptible to
Yeah,
stress.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to think about as we're working today what this pattern of stress serves. Does it help you? Does it help you manage? Does it help you feel more in control and less out of control? We'll be exploring this interconnection between the patterns that are creating themselves and why it might be difficult not to do that. Because if I could say to you, you know what, just don't stress out in your neck and shoulders, life would be easy, wouldn't it? But the thing is, it's not so easy because these things happen, not because we choose them, they just happen. Because the organism is choosing them, unconsciously. So, I'm asking you to not do anything in the neck and shoulders right now with my hands. And now, what I want from you right now is to take the hips back as you bend the knees. Perfect. And then stop there. And carry on bending the knees until you reach the stool. That's it. And then stop there for a while. And then stand up again. And then bend the knees again. And then heels. That's it. Bend the knees again. And then heels. And bend the knees. And then heels. And bend the knees. And then heels. And then knees again. Yep. Yeah. What does it feel like to move like this?
Slightly uncomfortable.
Yes, on which part?
I can start feeling it in my thighs.
Exactly. So it's uncomfortable in the legs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Heels. You okay with it for a while?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then heels. Up you come. Yeah. And where didn't you feel it so much? So you felt stuff going on here, quite demanding, a little uncomfortable on the muscles of the legs.
And ever so slightly in my lower back, but nothing much up towards my shoulders.
Nothing much in the shoulders and a little bit in the back.
Yeah.
And now I want you to go onto the tip of your toes. And then down to the heels. Onto the toes. And down to the heels. Onto the toes. And then down to the heels and stop. And then again, take the hips backwards and stop there, and then wait there for a while, leave the arms to fall, and then bend the knees until you reach the stool, and hold yourself there. And then stand up with the heels again, and bend the knees, and then heels, and bend the knees, heels. Yes, tell me what's happening in the neck and back at the moment. Bend the knees.
It feels quite sort of relaxed, quite droopy.
Yeah, quite droopy and relaxed in the neck and shoulder and back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heels. As in, when you say droopy, do you mean not upright enough, so to speak?
Yeah, I don't feel as if... I think I gradually can feel almost my shoulder blades feel like they're sort of coming apart. And
Yeah. Bend the knees. And then heels all the way up. That's it. And now again, we take your head over here and hips and knees until you reach the stool. And then stand up with the heels, and then knees again, and heels, and bend the knees, and heels, and knees. Yeah. And I'll move you backwards. Right there. And now what's going on in the neck and back and shoulders? Or are you feeling more in the legs still?
I think my legs have relaxed since I'm sitting down, but there's not really that much that's come back into my neck and shoulders.
Right, I've got the arm. So you can see I'm taking all the weight of the arm and you're not doing anything at all. I've got the arm. And even now there's very little happening in the neck and shoulders. Do you see that? It's like an isolation of this doing its own thing. And your back is not doing very much. It's not participating. So in a way what I'm doing is tempting you to activate the pattern that you told me about of tension in the neck and shoulders, and at the same time giving you the experience of not activating it. So not activating it in sitting and standing. Wait there for a while. So not activating anything in the neck and shoulders as you stand up with the heels. Yeah, and then bend the knees. And then heels. Can you sense that idea?
Yeah.
What are you learning? What's the experience of not activating anything in the neck and back and shoulders when you're coming in and out of a chair?
It does feel like an isolation because I can really acutely kind of feel it in my legs quite quickly.
Yes.
And it almost feels strange to not have that experience in my neck and shoulders.
Yes. So the strangeness is the absence of what you'd normally feel in your neck and shoulders.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you can feel stuff going on because I'm working muscles.
Yeah.
It's like 40 repetitions and you're managing it without, struggling.
Yeah.
But what you're feeling, which is bizarre, is the absence of stuff going on in your neck and shoulders. The absence of familiar, but normally I'm doing stuff up here.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that like?
It feels nice.
It's an interesting word, isn't it? Nice. Can you flesh it? Because I understand exactly what you mean, but can you flesh it out for yourself? What is nice about it?
It's much more comfortable.
Yeah. Yes. You're not going towards discomfort in the neck and shoulders and back. That's it. So again, I'm getting you to do nothing, to not react in a mini crisis. Because you could say this is a mini crisis. All these strange people watching you, stage fright, in a strange place with a strange guy doing rather bizarre activities of sitting and standing, and it's weird stuff, isn't it? I won't say it's hopefully not as emotionally charged as a crisis at work, but it's a mini demand, isn't it, on your nervous system? And then hips back and bend the knees, and then heels. Exactly. Bend the knees over your toes. Wait there for a while, and then come here, and then you can be here. That's it. And then I'll take you over here. Don't help me. Yeah, so this point is normally the point when you'd probably activate a lot of neck and shoulder stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm saying with my hands, tomorrow you don't need to do anything at all. You can stand up with your heels. What's it like to get out of a chair like that?
I think without your hands on my neck and the shoulders, it was a little bit harder to remember not just to use my legs.
Exactly, yes. So I didn't give you so much support then.
Yeah.
But you still managed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the long term, you could say that the Alexander process is one of increasing autonomy. That this isn't treatment. Eventually, you'd want to be managing yourself without stressing out in all sorts of life situations, without carrying around a teacher in your purse and your handbag or whatever. You've got a very heavy bag over there, so you
don't have
know.
room.
And hips back. That's it. And then heels. And then bend the knees. And then heels. That's it. And bend the knees. And stop. And heels. And bend the knees. And heels. Exactly. All the way up. going to move your shoulders. They can also move and they can fall. They can move and they can fall. And then you can bend the knees. That's fine. And then stand again. And then bend the knees again. And heels. And bend the knees again. And then heels. That's fine. All the way up. Don't change. Yeah. And once more, bend the knees. Yeah. You're still managing with that isolation thing?
Yeah.
So now a mind-body question. What's it like in your mind, in your internal world, as you're staying much, much freer in the neck and shoulders? Is there any correlation or connection in your nervous system?
I think I'm able to be a bit more aware of how the rest of my body is moving. So I think it's almost like I can kind of feel past there's just less of a sense of pressure. So I can be more aware of what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah. You're not distracted by one particular discomfort.
Yeah.
That's it. And wait. And then my hands are now telling you don't need to react. You don't need to be disturbed at the same time as the heels go to the ground. Stand up. And then you don't need to be disturbed as you bend the knees. You don't need to be disturbed as I move you backwards. Yeah. Yeah. And what quality is your mind in? Not just what it's aware of, as in the content, but what about the quality or condition of your mind in this condition?
I feel very relaxed. I think I feel quite a sense of trust as well, and like I don't need to kind of be doing anything.
Yeah, that's an important one. You don't need to do anything. And I would say you might think it's trusting me, but it's much more than that. You're trusting yourself. Eventually, that's what it's all about. It's you trusting that you're okay, that you don't have to do anything, that you don't need to react, that you're not on guard for the next emergency, which is probably very, very difficult at work because there's multiple emergencies, perhaps.
Yeah. I'd say there's a sense of like unfamiliarity to it as well, though.
Yes, this is unfamiliar. It's not a normal state of being for most of us, is it? I think it's fair to say that most of us, especially in your sort of job, you'd be carrying around pretty much all day a state of hypervigilance. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Whatever comes, I'm here. I'm ready. You're not in a state of I just trust that it's all going to be okay. It's like whatever happens, I can go for it.
Yeah.
And that must be quite tiring for the nervous system in terms of the potential for burnout.
Definitely.
And take you further forwards. So I would say what can build up is your ability to navigate towards this condition more and more at work. And it wouldn't mean that you wouldn't be able to perform and function. In fact, you're functioning very well right now in sitting, standing. And you'd function also at work when there are demands without the frazzled nervous system. Let me take you further forwards. And wait. And stop. Exactly. So I haven't got my hands on the neck and head, but I'm supporting you here. All I need for you to do is to stand up with the heels. Yeah. And bend the knees again. And then heels. And bend the knees again. Heels, and bend the knees again, and heels. That's it, all the way up. Is it easy to feel relaxed?
No, I don't find it easy to feel relaxed. Now I feel, I can feel that I'm becoming more and more relaxed.
Yeah, it's deepening, isn't it?
Yeah, each time we do it, it feels more.
Yeah. So it's something deepens in the process. It's almost like the nervous system gets more embedded in or embodied in this condition. And And the unfamiliarity may soften a little bit. It's like, yeah, I know this place. What do you think the challenge would be in terms of sustaining this quality of your mind and your body at work?
I think it would be a case of having to become more and more acclimatised to getting into this place.
Into this condition, I think that's right. So a lot of the technique is about the repetition over time of this condition, and help you build up resilience and the capacity to navigate back into this condition as a familiar, as a constant pattern, not as something rather unfamiliar and just very, very occasional. Like when you go on holiday and you're on the beach and you're given your gin and tonic. This is a little bit of a different one. Hips back and bend the knees. It's taking the beach with you and the gin and tonic. Bend the knees. And then heels. Yeah. So now you're keeping this going. Can you feel that? This condition of mind and body ease or relaxation or safety. Into movement over time. And then heels. And bend the knees. And then heels. And bend the knees, and heels, and bend the knees, and heels, and bend the knees, and heels. For most of us, though, especially in the sorts of high-pressure jobs that you're talking about, and your experience, the usual place is just staying in frazzle, and we don't tend to navigate back home. And that's really what's missing. It's not that emergencies don't happen, and you might not get frazzled for a while. It's that the recovery doesn't seem to kick in too easily.
Yeah.
So I'm certainly not saying you can stay in this zenned out condition all day, especially when things happen. What I am saying is that you'd lose the plot a little less, and go into less extremes of hypertension and terror, and recover this condition quicker. And that would be the purpose of having lessons, that it would reinforce your ability to regulate back to this condition of ease. So again, nothing happening, hips back and bend the knees. Yeah, any questions coming in?
How often do you think I would need to do this for it to become more natural?
That's a good question. So everyone asks how many sessions, and it's a difficult one to answer. Most people would have, say, 20, 30 sessions. And I would say the most important thing is to have an intense burst of lessons. So if you were having 30 sessions, say you had the time or a budget for 30, then you'd probably want to do 3 sessions a week for 10 weeks, and not 1 a week for 30. But some people carry on for years, some people might stop after 5 or 10. And it's a bit like psychotherapy. How many therapy sessions?
Yeah.
Do you want to do 5 days a week of analysis for 20 years? Yeah. Or do you want to do a very short cognitive behavioural set for 6? The thing about Alexander is it's cumulative. So it's deepening of a capacity, and I would say in the world that we live in, most of us would benefit by quite a lot of regulation work, of the experience of coming back to this condition over and over again, so that it deepens, because we need quite a big dose of it, especially in the sort of work that you're doing. It would really serve you. Stop there for a while. And then stand up with the heels. And then bend the knees again. And then heels. And then bend the knees. And then heels. So what are you sensing in the neck and back right now? And heels.
Not a lot is happening.
Not a lot is happening. There, you've got that experience quite deeply now.
Yeah.
Bend the knees. And now, for the mind-body question, what's happening in the nervous system with not a lot happening in the neck and back?
I would say I feel quite tranquil.
Tranquility, that's the thing. So the tranquility is always going to go hand in hand with the mind, with the body stuff. So the body freedom and stillness And the absence of tension in the neck, shoulders and back goes hand in hand with a certain quality of tranquility. Does that make sense on a mind-body level?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the opposite, of course, is true. When you're really distressed and overwhelmed by emotional stimuli, you'll notice yourself actually in a position and condition of quite a lot of excess tension. For you, obviously associated with neck and shoulder stuff. So let's take us a little bit further, just so you understand what probably is happening at work. What do you think the benefit would be? Do you think maybe not being tranquil would serve you? Or I could ask another question, why is tranquility not an easy place to be?
I think because, like you said, I'm constantly expecting something to happen, anticipating a crisis.
Exactly. So if you don't, right now you're not anticipating the next crisis. So what does that demand from you in this place of tranquility?
I guess there's a level of trust that a crisis is
correct. Yeah. Or even if a crisis does come, that you trust that everything is okay, you can manage. So there's a certain tolerance of uncertainty, a certain tolerance of, I don't know the future, a bit unknown, a certain faith in not being prepared, which is it's quite scary. In a way, the system is saying to itself in these moments of preparation, I'm ready. And if you're not ready, there might be quite a scary sense of, oh my gosh, something terrible could happen and I'm not even ready. So there's an emotional demand or a difficulty in being tranquil. It's not just let's all be tranquil, otherwise everyone would be tranquil all the time. So in tranquility, some difficult thoughts and feelings may surface, like, I'm not ready. It could be scary. Bad things may happen. That's it. So all sorts of thoughts, feelings and sensations come into tranquility. It's not just a golden nugget. Let me take you backwards. Yeah. And then stand up with the heels. And then walk around a little bit, maybe just to the window and then come back to the stool. And then back again. Yeah. What's it like to walk like that?
I feel a bit heavier.
Yeah. More connected to the
more
ground?
connected to the ground, yeah.
Put your feet wider. So that's interesting. So that heaviness as in you're more here.
Yeah.
So that's a healthy heaviness, I would say. As in you're more, perhaps more embodied.
Yeah.
So the stress pattern you were showing me before is a very ungrounded one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not with the ground, I'm not really with myself. So you're saying something about a quality of heaviness which is quite present.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else associated with that heaviness that's interesting?
There is a sense of not being as flighty and ready for movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, not so flighty.
Yeah.
And not so ready for stuff. Yeah. Okay. And last time, hips back and bend the knees again. Yeah. And then heels. And then bend the knees again. And then heels. And bend the knees again. Heels. And then bend the knees. Yeah. I know it's not an easy place to ask difficult questions, but are there any slightly uncomfortable thoughts, feelings or sensations that come into this tranquility space? You don't have to go into great detail, but anything that you could say, I'm now a little bit more in touch with something that I normally wouldn't really want to be experiencing.
I think having this perspective and feeling this grounded it makes it very difficult to kind of take the perspective on how I am day to day and how I carry myself at work. And I think once you step out of it, it's a little bit uncomfortable looking at how I might normally be or what that might normally look like and feel like to the people that are around me as well.
Like a sense of, it brings into focus the everyday me.
Yeah. Which is difficult reflection, I think.
So it's a difficult reflection, yes. I said, goodness, what am I putting myself through?
Yeah.
24/7 that I don't get too much of a break from. And that's quite a poignant self-reflection. Yeah. And that's half the cup, and the other half of the cup is, and this is a potential for being in a way which is a lot kinder to yourself. So on the one hand you say, yeah, now it's quite sad or distressing that this is what I'm doing to myself habitually. On the other hand, you're experiencing yourself in another condition, which is the optimistic, the hopeful side, as in, but this is a potential, because it's also you. That's it, let me take you further forwards, and then stop, and then stand up. But it often takes an experience like this to realise, goodness, this is my normal me. It's quite a shock sometimes to the system. My goodness, this is, because, and you only realise it through contrast, because this is not a normal condition, is it?
Absolutely.
So when you have this condition, then you realise there's no hiding place. My goodness, this is what I've been doing to myself for all that amount of time, and you realise maybe it's a bit toxic.
Yeah.
Which is what, you know, burnout can often be about. Yeah. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of table work to deepen things a little bit. So what I want from you is to take your shoes off, and we'll get you on the table with your head on the books.
Head here.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm going to take this out as well.
Oh yeah, fine. That's fine. So you get yourself down there with your head on the books. That's fine. Yeah. And I'm going to do all the hard work here. Okay, so similar to the work on the chair, I'm still going to move you, and you've got the same role of not really helping me, yeah? I'm going to lift a leg, and I'm going to do all the lifting, and I'll do the bending as well. So now I'm supporting gravity, that your body is now getting closer to the centre of the table, centre of the earth, dropping into the table. What does the back feel like on the table?
Feels very flat at the moment.
Flat,
Yeah.
that's right. So it's just flattened a bit more than normal, which is you trusting, a bit like we were talking about before, you're now trusting yourself rather than not trusting.
Yeah.
You're trusting gravity. So it's interesting, this tranquility place, because inside the tranquility place there can be some experiences of maybe sadness and melancholia. Melancholy, is that the word? That's like you were saying before, the contrast between how you are now and how you realise you've been can evoke a certain experience of, oh, that's a bit sad really. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
So tranquility, people often ask about Alexander tranquility or Alexander equanimity, doesn't mean sort of shallow happiness all the time. But it does mean something experienced. It's a real felt experience, which, as you described before in terms of sensation, your experience is much more available when you're tranquil, rather than distracted by the emergency of the moment and the tension patterns of the neck and shoulders. When that's absent, you have more room for experience. It might be interesting to ask what sort of influence you would have on the people around you in this condition when crises happen. Whether you'd have a certain regulatory impact on them when you're in a deeper place of relaxation. That's it. So at the moment I'm simply moving legs, arms, your head, and you're getting into a deeper place of allowing, of surrendering control. Often people are quite attached to the control freak patterns of I'm in control, but in a way you're doing something very different right now. You're surrendering that sort of control. Do you hear the gurgle?
Yeah.
So the gurgle, people often think it's about being ready for lunch. It's not really that. When people gurgle like that, it's a sign of very deep relaxation. It's peristalsis, things moving around in the gut. So you'll find when you're this deeply relaxed, you'll often hear the gurgle as a little sort of symptom of deep relaxation. There's a psychotherapeutic system. It's by a lady called Gerda Boysen, and she uses a stethoscope, and she only does deep therapy when the gurgle happens.
Wow.
I think it's biodynamics. Biodynamic therapy. So she waits until they're very, very relaxed, and only then can they process emotional material.
Wow.
Because emotional material can't be processed in a flight-fight pattern or a freeze pattern. Which is why safety and the therapeutic alliance is critical for any therapeutic process. And similarly in Alexander, things can only deepen when there's a very deep sense of relaxation. That's it. How are you doing there? You okay?
Yeah.
That's it. I've got all the weight of the arm, and if I let go, it simply drops. That's exactly it. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is to maintain this condition of ease of your neck, back, shoulders and the surrender quality, and the internal space of tranquility and ease, and take that into movement.
Okay.
That's it, yeah. So in a second, what's going to happen is you're going to roll onto your left-hand side The difference is I'm going to be helping you with your head, and then your feet will come over, and then I'll flip you in to an upright position. All right, so you roll onto your left-hand side, arm round, that's it. And then, use your hands to help yourself off the table. And now you can walk to the chair. And back to the stool. That's it. So pretty much you maintain that condition in the transition between the table and the stool. Okay. Good, and you're not in any position to hold on to. So, yes, that was your first Alexander lesson.
It's a very strange sensation because I feel, I wasn't sure what was going to happen when I first stood up. It was almost like everything in my body was like, oh, are we ready for movement? It was a nice kind of feel. I was really enjoying lying there. And then standing up, walking again was very strange.
It must feel strange, yeah. Good, thank you. Anything you want to share about the mind-body experience of this rather strange thing?
It has been very strange, but there was moments of it where I felt more comfortable and then moments where I felt less comfortable. I think as soon as something new was introduced, I could feel myself, my kind of body wanting to go back to that general state.
When something new happens, when the stimulus gets a little bit bigger again, you can feel the body raring to go again. And the purpose of lessons is to get you able to tolerate higher and higher demands, higher and higher levels of stimuli and impact, new things, unexpected things, without losing your equanimity, without losing your tranquility. So it's about resilience, to be able to look after yourself like you are now when stuff happens, rather than being overwhelmed and freaking out in a way that throws you off course for a while and creates excess disturbance and distress in your neck and shoulders and your mind. And you, as you say, you carry it. Right now you're not carrying anything. You're just carrying you in a rather tranquil condition, and all the thoughts and feelings and sensations that you have. But you're not carrying anything toxic. So there's nothing to let go of when you go home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Final chance of questions or feedback, or are you okay?
No, I'm fine. It was really lovely. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks so much for sharing yourself. It's really helpful to us, and you've been a great candidate for demonstration. Thanks so much for coming.
Not at all. Thank you. Thanks very much.